Hello everyone and welcome to Java Forever course. Currently we are learning Introduction to Functions, and in today's class we will learn more about function definition. In the last class we learned at a high level what function is and why do we need it, why do we use it, why do we write it. Let's look into the code part of it today. I have written a basic code here as you can see on the screen, and in this one I have written just one line of code. This method, this block here, actually calculates the average of three numbers. Calculating average of three numbers is very straightforward and simple. Ideally, you would not need to use a function, but I wanted to give you an example. In order to calculate, if somebody tells me to calculate average of three numbers, the first thing I need to know is what are my inputs? What would I need to do some processing? Remember, every function has an input and it does some processing and gives some output back. The function that I want to write, the average, I said I can calculate average of three numbers because I'm really good at it. So you need to give me three numbers. Those three numbers are X, Y, and Z. With that, these three numbers, I can add these three numbers, divide by 3. As you can see, first I added and then I'm doing division, and that is why I have put it in parentheses. And I calculated, this will calculate an average of three numbers. It's pretty straightforward. But now at the end of this, I want to give the output back so that whoever is using my function will get an output. And that's why I use a standard word called return. Return is whatever value I calculated, I'm returning that value back from this method. So this box is black box for outside world. They don't know this part. They don't know what processing I'm doing inside this function. They don't know this statement. Of course, this is a simple statement, but assume I'm calculating loan based on your, score, based on your income. Then it becomes very complicated. But the person outside who is going to use my function does not care what is inside. That's why I call a function as black box. You don't care what is inside. All you care is the input. You need to give it to me and I'll give you an output back. This function I have defined as public static. For the time being, keep it aside. What is important here and pay attention is this function is returning a value at the end, double. And as you see, when I add these three numbers and divide by 3, it can be a floating number or it can be a real number, either floating or double. So my output type is double. This is my definition of function. If somebody is using my function, will know that this function will give me a double. And this function has a name. This function has a name and I call it average. And this function returns a value. The second part is this function has three inputs, also referred as parameters. Currently there are three parameters. Each parameter is a variable with its data type. The name of the variable can be anything. I usually give, again, meaningful names. I won't use X, Y, and Z. Suppose if I am calculating, the three numbers, maybe I should have given number 1, number 2, and number 3. So double num1, double num2, double num3. But for the sake of simplicity, I used X, Y, and Z. Now there are three parameters right now, and each parameter is a pair in which I define data type, and I'm also defining the name of the variable. And the variable name can be anything. Variable name. This is how in Java you define a function or method. When you look at Java, a class like this has one or more methods. A class is nothing but a group of methods, and a method has one or more lines of code. So it's all about grouping the line of code together, make a method or a function, and a group of functions is called a class in a simplest form. Again, I'm simplifying it. So as you notice, every method has a name. A quick repeat here. Every method has a name. Average. I can give any name, but I will give always meaningful name. It has number of inputs, and in this case it has 3 inputs. It has order of the input. I want to accept X first, then Y, and then Z, which is like I want to include, the principal amount, the interest rate, and then time. The value, the order of these parameters are very important. That's here. Then I'm talking about the data type of the input, which is all three data types are double here. The number of outputs, which is usually one, and then data type of the output, which is double. So I'll take three double values, calculate it, and return finally a double value. That's all in the definition of a function. In the next class, we'll talk a little bit again more about methods and take a couple of examples and understand in detail. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.